Hi guys. Um, yeah, just waiting for others to join before we can officially start the lesson. Please just type in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear and you can see me clearly. Awesome. Thanks for the feedback. So I think yeah, let's give it a minute or two for the others to join. In the meantime, I want to share a link. Let me just see if it's possible for me to share and pin a link in the chat. Yeah, the live stream will be available after the lesson, but do highly recommend you to actually watch and take part as we go through the lesson. There'll actually be some places where we actually write some codes together. Just answering some questions in the chat. But yeah, I think we'll just give it a hard stop at 7:05, and then we'll actually get on with the content for the course. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. We've got a few EasyCode team members will be helping with questions as we go along. And then here and there, I'll take pauses to see if there are any critical questions in the chat, which I'll respond to. Okay, it's 7:05, so we can start. So, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Africode online bootcamp. My name is Ngoni, one of the co-founders of EasyCode. EasyCode is a company that introduces people to programming. It was founded by three friends who are software engineers. We just met in varsity. Then afterwards, we just felt like it was important to have a platform which would allow us to share programming with as many people as possible, especially young people. So we founded the company in 2021, and yeah, we've been doing online courses with quite a few number of students. We've also done in-person boot camps, and we just continue with our passion to share programming and coding with as many people as we can. Uh, I'm sure most of you have come across our websites. I think that's where you'll find more information about our journey and also our Instagram page. Do follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and also follow us on YouTube. For this course, we'll be having these sessions as YouTube live streams, but we'll just see with the numbers. We might move on to Google Meets if I think if our numbers allow us to do that. I think we've gone with the YouTube live stream because I think we had more than quite a number of signups. So YouTube live stream would be able to handle the demand. So I will share my screen and then start going through some of the course content and just talk more about what this course is about and what we're trying to achieve with this program. Okay, so yeah, as mentioned, welcome to Africode. This is basically a bootcamp that we designed to introduce people to basic web development and also how to use AI to do web development. The bootcamp is open to people from 2 years and above. So the content is quite simplified. So someone who's 12 and should be able to fully understand the content and be able to go through all of it. Some of the definition might be quite simplified. The way we explain things might be quite simplified, but it's just so that the course can be useful to as many people as possible. So the goal with this free bootcamp was just to introduce as many people as possible to coding. We will teach the basics of web development, which is the tools you need to make a website and deploy a website. And then we'll also go through how to use AI to enhance your development experience. I will, before I actually go to the slides, I'm just going to switch to a different page, which will share the curriculum for the entire course before moving to the content for lesson one. So let me just change the page that I'm sharing. Okay. So this is the course curriculum page. I'll just walk through this quickly before getting to the course material. And I've shared a link to this curriculum and also pinned it to the YouTube live stream. So anyone can have access to it. You can go through it in your own time and even prepare ahead. But basically, we have 6 lessons planned, 1 lesson each Thursday for 1 hour, with our first lesson being this one, and this will be the topics that we'll cover. And then we have a week where we won't have a lesson, the week of the 10th, but we'll be expecting all our students to be working on a project in that time. And then we'll have on the 17th a course completion call plus prize giving. So yeah, to make it fun, we will work on 2 main projects during the course. After the first 4 lessons, we'll have the 5th lesson. We'll work on actually creating a personal profile project, which will just be more of like a CV website, just talking about yourself, which we'll work through and deploy together. And then after that lesson, we'll then do an introduction to how you can use AI to help you with web development, and then also introduce a project that you work on. And then you have time to work on the project, submit the project, and then we'll have a prize giving session. So we've designed the course in such a way that we'll cover a lot of theoretical content, but also a lot of practical content. Computer programming you need to know the theory on how to do it, but for you to be good at programming, you need to be able to actually practice it. The more you practice, the better you get at it. So throughout the course, it will be a mixture of theory and practical work. And even in this lesson that we're having today, we will write some code together. We will work on a very, very basic introductory website. So that's the course schedule in a nutshell. Um, we'll talk more about the projects when we get to the lessons. We talk about the projects, but yeah, we just want people to, I think, for the final project, the one which they'll be, which will be marked and given prizes for. We just want a pitch, a website which talks about a solution to an existing African problem, and then if you want to participate with prizes, just send us a 1-minute video pitching the app using your website. But we'll get more into details about the requirements for this later on in the course. Also, we will have prizes for the projects just to make this more fun. Just wait a minute. I'm just getting a call from one of my founders. Just give me a second to respond to this. Okay, I see that you had lost me. Let me just try sharing my screen again. Okay, that's fine. I think there was just a technical issue with the screen, but my understanding is that you can all see it now. Okay, so back to what I was just talking about the projects and the prizes. This document is linked here on the chat, so you can all get access to it. In case you missed something that I said, we do want you to have this is your syllabus for the course, if you can put it that way. And we'll be working through some slides and some of the links to all the things that we'll be doing already on this document. Okay. So that's it about the curriculum. I'll move on to our first lesson, which will be Introduction to HTML. Okay, just can you see the screen? I've shared to a different screen. Just give me an emoji if you can see the screen. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so in this lesson, we are actually going to get into it. We're going to learn a technology that's used to build websites. It's called HTML. Basically, the structure of the course, first we'll just go through some terminology, just defining certain aspects about programming in HTML. We'll talk about the structure of HTML. We'll talk about elements and attributes, and then we'll just have a small quiz that we'll work through and revise together. We believe that programming is for everyone, and so don't be worried too much. You will be able to, I think, if you are 12 years and above, you'll be able to fully grasp the concept of this course. You'll be able to go through all the course material. And there's lots of resources that we've linked in the curriculum that will actually help you get there. So if you have any concerns, if you've heard that programming is difficult, programming is challenging, we're here to debunk that. We even named our company Easy Code because we really feel like programming is for everyone. It's something that anyone can do. Okay, so some terminology. As I say, these are very simplified definitions, but we'll start with programming itself. So different that I put here, but programming basically boils down to giving a computer instructions that it follows, and that's basically it. It's basically uh, a way of giving a computer instructions to follow to achieve a certain goal. That's basically what programming is. And then web development is just an area within programming where people make websites and web applications. So yeah, there's some key definitions that will just help you within the web development space. The internet basically is just a network or a system of computers, a network or system that connects millions of computers around the world. Which is a program used to view information on a computer network, especially websites. Um, and then a website is a group of web pages, usually containing links to each other and made available online. Uh, so yeah, a website is just a web page. We will work through a web page together, what it looks like, the structure of a web page. And usually a website will have multiple web pages that link to each other. That's basically what a website is. And then a web application, it's usually websites that have a lot more interactivity, that are used to achieve more complex tasks as compared to websites. So, for example, web applications are like applications that you can log onto on a browser. So, for example, things like Facebook, things like YouTube. These are considered web applications because of their complexity and the tasks that you can do on these platforms, as compared to a website where it can just be something like your personal CV, which you're going to build. That's going to be a website. It's just a simple page that has some information that will be shared with other people online. Okay. All right, just two more definitions, then we'll actually get to a bit of coding. I mentioned that when you mentioned the term HTML. HTML is the language used for creating web pages. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's just a way in which we communicate to a computer when we want it to display a website or a web application. So as I mentioned earlier, programming is a way of giving instructions to a computer in a format that it understands, and it can act on those instructions. So just like when humans communicate, if I'm speaking to you, I speak using a language which you can understand, and I can give you instructions in that language. In computer programming, we have programming languages which are used to give instructions to the computer. So for web development, there are a few languages that are used, but the core language is HTML, which is what we'll be using in this lesson to just give instructions to the computer on how to display the website. Then web development is the process of creating a website or web app. Okay. All right. So what is HTML? HTML describes the structure of a web page to the computer. All right. And it's just used to create web pages. And then each programming language has what is called syntax. Syntax just means how the language is structured, right? So, for example, the English language, like syntax of the English language would be, for example, you start a sentence, well, you will use the alphabet to create words, right? We use letters of the alphabet sentences start with a capital letter, the end with a full stop, then you've got the different punctuation marks. In programming, if English was a programming language, we would consider that the syntax of English, just the rules around how to structure instructions using English. But don't worry, this will make sense when you actually get into it. We'll get into a practical just now, where we'll show you the syntax of HTML, write some HTML code, and actually see how a computer interprets that and displays something that we want at the end of the day. So okay, so the basis of the syntax of HTML is it uses what are called tags to let the browser know how a web page should look. These tags usually come in pairs, an opening and then closing tag, but this is not a strict rule. But the syntax is just basically it's structures which the computer will understand and will know how to interpret. But when you talk about HTML, you'll see that we will be speaking a lot about tags. And the tags look something like this, but you get to learn a few different tags and what those tags can do as we go along. Okay, I'm just going to pause and see if there are any questions in the chat so far. Okay, seems like we're good. Okay, so we're done with the technology we'll use to move to the structure of HTML pages or documents. Basically, at the top of an HTML document, this will be the web page. There's this instruction, doc type HTML, which just basically tells the web browser, right? So as I was doing the definition, I mentioned that web browsers, they're the ones that it's the software that's used to read HTML documents and display them. So at the top of the document, we have this doc type HTML, which tells the browser that, okay, this is an HTML document that you're about to read. Browsers can read other types of documents. HTML is just one type of document that the browser can read. So at the top of the document, you have this declaration. And then we have opening HTML and closing HTML tags. This just indicates where the document begins. So this tells it what type of document it is, number one. Then number two, you have your opening tag. It indicates where the HTML begins. And then your closing tag will be at the end of all the content of that HTML document. So you have an opening tag, then you put all your HTML, and then you've got a closing tag. And then you have the body of the HTML document. This is the part of the document that is displayed to the user. So within, there are certain tags which have information for the browser. It will just tell you more information about the document. And there are certain tags which you would want the browser to display to the user. Right. But we'll get into it. And we'll actually do a demo together. So what you're seeing right now on my screen, this right here is a website, but it's just a very, very simple website. But this has enough elements to qualify as a website. You've got your declaration tag, which tells the browser what type of document it is. So this says doc type, it's HTML. And then you've got the HTML opening tag, which tells the browser that this is the start of the HTML document content. And then most tags, as I mentioned, come in pairs. So you've got your opening HTML tag, and at the bottom, you've got your closing HTML tag. So the opening one tells you that this is the start of the HTML document content, and this is the end of the content. And then you've got a body tag. This is the start of the visible document content, and your closing body tag, which is the end of the visible document content. And then within the body, you've got a heading, you've got a paragraph, and you've got an opening heading tag, closing heading tag, opening paragraph tag, closing paragraph tag. Right. So this in itself is a website. Um, but what I'll do now, I will I'll share my screen to a different page which allows us to actually run this website within a browser and show what it looks like. Right. Okay. And this section, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show a link to the page on the chat. As I said, we'll be doing code along. So this link, if you can all open this link, then we'll work through this example together. But yeah, I'm now sharing my page to where the link is open. So please just react with a emoji if you are now have opened this link on your laptop. I want to explain what's happening here, and then I also want you to write some code. Okay, Seho, I see you are here. Guys, is anyone else on this page? Please just react with an emoji. Let's have at least 4 more, guys. We need to be coding and working through this together. So 3 so far. Let's have 2 more to get to 5. All right. Awesome. So I would strongly encourage all of us to, if you're on your laptop, to actually code along with us. As I said, programming there's the theory part, but then there's also the practical part. So the more you practice, the better you become at it, and the easier it becomes for you. It's one of those things where you really need to actually write some code yourself to get you used to how programming works. So seeing more emojis in the chat, quite happy about that. Um, awesome. So what you're seeing here, this is a platform called W3 Schools. It's got lots of free content on programming, different programming languages, but lots of web development content there. And this is basically a part of the website which allows you to write some code here on the left, run it, and see the result on the right. Right. So on your left here, what I'm highlighting here, let me zoom in a bit. On the left, this is an HTML document, right? And then on the right, this is what it looks like, right? So as I was saying when I was explaining, this is a website, right? This is an HTML document. Then this on the right here is the website that's produced by this. So as I said, a very simple website, very, very simple, but it is a website nonetheless, right? So you've got your opening. This is the tag, the declaration tag. It just tells the browser that, hey, what you have here is an HTML document. You've got your opening HTML tag, your closing HTML tag. You will notice, I'll just touch briefly on the syntax of HTML, that you've got the name of the tag. In this case, it's HTML. You've got a less than sign and a greater than sign. So you start your tag with a less than sign, you end it with a greater than sign, and then you've got the name of the tag. Please just note that these things are important for your browser, the computer, to understand what you're telling it, right? When you actually write some HTML yourself, please just be on the lookout for the syntax. Computers seem very smart, but computers, to be honest, are extremely dumb devices, right? Computers just do exactly what you tell them to do. I think why AI is called artificial intelligence instead of just intelligence is because intelligence is not real, it's simulated. So when you create a website, when you create a computer program, you need to tell the computer exactly what you want it to do in a way that it understands, right? So some of these things, like if you miss out on opening this greater than sign or this less than sign and greater than sign, sometimes things won't be displayed the way you want them to, right? But this just comes with practice, being able to understand, to be able to come up with the syntax. The more you practice, the better you will get at it, right? So you've got your opening HTML tag, your closing HTML tag. You've got your body, opening tag, closing tag. Then what I'm going to do is that uh, this H1 is what is called a heading tag. It's the main heading on your website. And what you'll see that you've got your opening tag, your closing tag, and then you've got some words written here. Let me just try zoom in to make it easier. This is my first heading. And then you'll notice that here on the website part, it actually displays my first heading, right? So basically, this is what programming is, right? Like you've got these instructions that you've given to a computer, and then it follows the instruction to display what you want to be displayed to the end user, right? You see that on the website, the end user doesn't see the syntax, they don't see the HTML document. They just see what you want the computer to display to the end user, right? So on this heading, we can actually the fun thing about WT Schools, this platform that we're using, is that we can actually edit here, and I can say, welcome to Africode Bootcamp. And then if you click run, you'll see that it actually then changes to welcome to Africode Bootcamp. Basically, we've told the computer that, hey, we want for this main heading, the text be welcome to Africode Bootcamp. So I want all of you to try that on your end, where you've got the link open. Within the opening and closing heading paragraph, just change the text to welcome to Africode Bootcamp and then click run, right? And then please just give me an emoji once you've done that. So I've shared the link already to this page that I'm sharing. Each one of you will have your own instance, so just do that. And then just give us an emoji once you've done that. I see one emoji so far. See another one. Okay, is there anyone who's struggling to do this? There we go. I see an emoji from Gift. Awesome. All right. So yeah, if you've done that, you click run and it changed the content on the page. Congratulations, you are now a software developer. You've basically given a computer instructions. You've told the computer to run those instructions, and the computer has done what you told it to do. So congratulations to all those who managed to change that heading to their own text and click to run, because that's basically what programming is, giving a computer instructions and telling it to execute those instructions. Okay, then the next thing you can just do for fun. So you've got your main heading. You can actually change the content in this paragraph and just write maybe your name. For my end, I'll just say my name is Ngoni. And then if you click run, you will see that it also updates uh, the paragraph. Right. Awesome. Okay. I'll just share my screen back to the slides that will continue. All the links that I'm sharing here in the chat, they're available on the curriculum document that's linked, that's actually pinned at the top of this discussion. So if anyone is there just catching up, you can use the curriculum document to find all the links that I'll be sharing as we go along. Okay, so that's the HTML document structure in a nutshell. So you've got HTML elements, you've got HTML tags, you've got HTML attributes. So, okay, so the example that we had a heading and we had a paragraph, but you can have multiple sizes of headings on a web page. There are 6 predefined sizes for headings, H1 to H6, and you'll see that they'll differ in size. But for paragraphs, there's only one type of paragraph. In the lesson we'll do next week, we'll learn about what is called CSS. CSS is a way in which you can style websites. HTML is just used for the structure. So although there are only 6 predefined headings, there are ways in which you can then change the color, the size to any size that you want of the heading on a web page. We can also style the paragraphs, but for now, the pre-built HTML elements are headings, and you've got 6 headings. Paragraph, you've got one type of paragraph. What I'll do is I'll share my screen back to the page that we were working on and just show you the different uh, sizes of paragraphs that you can do, the predefined paragraphs. And okay, I also would actually also encourage you to try this along with me. So I'm going to create an H2 paragraph, which will be smaller in size than the H1 paragraph, which we have here saying, welcome to Africode. What I'll do is just zoom in a bit so that you can see. So I'd encourage you to code along with me. You've got your opening H2 tag, and then I'll just type this is an H2 heading, right? And then we want to tell the browser that, okay, this is the end of our H2, so we need the closing tag. So you do your less than sign, you do your forward slash, you write H2, your greater than sign, and then you've actually added an HTML element onto the HTML document. And when you click run, it should now show this is an H2 heading. And you'll see that this Welcome to Africode Bootcamp is H1, it's a large heading. This is a smaller heading. This is an H2 heading. The screen is black again. Okay, let me try sharing the screen again. Okay, please just give me an emoji if you can see my screen. Okay, you can't see my screen. Let me try. Oh, you could see my screen. Let me share again. Okay, can you see the screen, the page I'm sharing now? All right. Awesome if you can see the page. So I was just saying, I was just walking you through how to add the H2 element to the web page. So if you can, just go and type this out, your opening H2 tag, your closing H2 tag, write this in H2 heading, click run, and then you'll be able to see your H2 heading. All right, awesome. Okay. Then, as I mentioned, uh, there are 6 levels of headings that you can do. So there's H3 until H6. So that you can have up to 6 different predefined heading sizes that you can put on your HTML document. So yeah, you can just play around and add more headings to your HTML page. Okay, I'll get back to the slides. We talked about paragraphs. Okay, talked about headings, talked about paragraphs. There are many, many other HTML elements that are there. But we'll just, in this course, we'll just cover a few, and then we'll also point you to like resources where you can learn about the other HTML elements. But the ones that you learn in this course, they'll be good enough for you to build your simple uh, website, your simple CV website, personal website. And also, I think when we then do the AI lesson, when you're using AI, you fully understand what the AI will be doing to help you make the website, and you'll be able to see the elements that we'll be also using for that. Another key thing we want to touch on today is what I call HTML attributes. Okay, so basically, attributes are used to give your browser more information about an HTML tag, right? Um, okay. Sorry, just give me a second. I think there's an issue with the. Okay. Can you see the page I'm sharing? Just give me an emoji if you can see the page. All right, so got a yes there. All right. So just talking about how attributes provide additional information about elements, and they're always added in the opening, the start tag, and they usually come in pairs. So the example I'm going to walk you through here is not HTML. We're going to assume that there is an HTML element called a donut. Just so, for example, if we're to make a donut using HTML, this is not a real HTML element. Attributes would be used to give more information about the donut to the browser. Basically, this would just give more information about how to process and display that element to a user, or how to just get more information about that HTML element, right? So if we were to have a donut, hypothetically HTML element, we could say we wanted to give the browser its type. We could say type equals to and opening quotes, closing quotes, and then it can be round. Um, it can be, and any, it can be square or any other shapes that they are for donuts. Size, we could then have an attribute for size. Maybe you can have a small donut, a large donut, a medium-sized donut. You can have maybe an attribute for icing, where icing is yes or no. And then this is information that the browser would see, and then use that information to display or process that HTML element. So basically how the syntax of attributes looks like is that here at the bottom, you then see donuts, opening tag, donut, then you've got the attribute and the value, attribute value, attribute value. Just a hypothetical example. Uh, I will share a link so that we can quickly look at example of a real world usage of an HTML attribute. Um, okay, so you can also just follow on the link that I've just shared. Okay, Can you see my screen where I am now? Just an emoji if someone can see my screen. All right, awesome. So there's just a different HTML document where I just want to demo what's an example of a real world HTML attribute. You haven't seen this HTML element before, but you can see that it follows the syntax of an HTML element. You've got the name of the element A here, and then this is your opening tag and your closing tag. Then this is the entire HTML element. So this is called the anchor tag, and this is used for links. So whenever you see a link on a website, they'll have used the anchor HTML element. It's just an A. That's the name. That's the name of the element that you put within the greater than and less than sign. But what I want to show you is a usage of an attribute, right? So the attribute here is called the href attribute, which is the link you want the person to go to when they click the link that's viewed. So this is where you want the browser to take the user to, right? So you will see that it's href equals to, and then your quotation marks, then the actual link that you want the browser to take a user to. So in this case, we're just going to change this to say google.com, and then you can write Google here. Whatever value you put here doesn't matter. This is what's displayed to the user. We have written Google here. So you can put this is a link. It doesn't change where the link will take the user to, right? And when you click run and you click the link, you will see that it's actually okay. I didn't put the Google link correctly. Just give me a second. Okay, I need to put the www. Just give me a second. Google.com. Oh, sorry, I need to put in the full link. So I'll just change with W3 schools here and just put google.com. Okay, it's fine. It's refusing to connect to google.com, but you see, it actually tried to get the user to google.com. Let me just try with our EasyCode website, code.com, click run, and there we go. All right. We've actually managed to change the link, and when we click the link, it actually opens our EasyCode website. All right. So this is a real world example of how a attribute works. We'll touch a bit more on the anchor tag in lesson 3. But for now, I just want to show you how an attribute works. Just seeing we've got 11 more minutes in the lesson, so I'll just need to speed up a little bit. Okay, so we'll just have a short quiz, which would really encourage everyone on the call to go through. Just take about 5 minutes, and then we'll review the quiz. Okay, let me share the link to the quiz, but it's also in your curriculum document. All right, so can you please just quickly work through this quiz? I think we'll just help you see if you've understood the content that we've covered in this lesson. And yeah, we'll quickly revise it together. and then uh, conclude the lesson. I think since we're running behind time, I'll just wait until at least two people have completed the quiz, and then I'll walk through the quiz. So if you completed the quiz, please just type that you're done. When you are done, just submit. The quiz will automatically mark for you. But I think I'll just want to then walk through the quiz and give the right answers for each of the questions. Okay, we've got two who've completed so far, which is great. Um, what we are going to do is we'll revise this quiz first thing in our second lesson next week. Um, I think to give everyone enough time to go through the quiz, and then yeah, I think it'll be good for us to actually start the next lesson just doing a bit of revision. So we'll do that, and then what I'll do now, I'll just share my screen, and also share a link. So I think between now and our next lesson, really I highly encourage you. There's a platform called Code Academy, which you can use to practice most of the things that we've learned today. It's a platform which allows you to write some code and then it actually marks it for you and displays the results for you. So we'll just be using that platform for you as a homework, for you to work on between lessons so that you actually get a better grasp of what we'll have covered in each of the lessons. So I'll just share a link to uh, the platform here, the course that would highly encourage you to spend at least 2 hours doing between now and our next lesson. The more time you spend on it, the better. But I think with this introduction that we've done, it will be much, much easier for you to actually go through the course that I've shared in the link there. I'm just going to open the link on my end just to give you an example of what the platform looks like, just to ease you into it. So basically, it will require you to sign up for it. It's got some paid courses, but also a lot of free courses, and the ones that we'll be using for homework are just totally free. But they just cover the content that we'll have gone through, so that you can also learn at your own pace in between the sessions that we're doing. Um, so this is what Code Academy looks like. I'm just going to log in with one of my personal accounts quickly and just show an example of what you can expect on Code Academy. But basically, it's will describe exactly what it is it's talking about, what you need to do. You'll have a place to write some code. You'll be able to run the code and see the results. So, for example, yeah, I'm sure you should be familiar to this by now. This is an heading element. So I can just type this is a heading, exclamation mark. And then the cool thing about the platform is that, give me a second, if you run you'll be able to see your results. So it's very similar to the platform we're using for just demoing the different concepts, but at least this one, it's got structured lessons that you can follow through as you go along. So highly encourage everyone on the call, um, do write some code between now and our next lesson. Spend at least 2 hours on Code Academy, but the more time you spend, the better. And Code Academy explains concepts very, very well. So just like I was doing and walking you through, you'll also get good explanations of the concepts. So that will be your homework between now and our next lesson. And then just to close off the lesson, all right. As I mentioned before, at the beginning when I was actually introducing EasyCode, we do have paid one-on-one online lessons where if you want specialized lessons with a dedicated tutor, you can sign up for those to be longer courses in more detail. But then we also do boot camps in underprivileged environments where we actually go in person, we go to a school in a township, and then we actually just take through the students through our courses for free. So this does require quite a bit of funding, the logistics, the fuel, and also probably usually provide lunch to these students that we have these boot camps with. So we're also just fundraising for our next boot camp. If you like what we're doing with this free online bootcamp, you can just scan this QR code and also make a small donation towards our next bootcamp. The link to where you can make a donation is also available on the curriculum document that I shared earlier. Okay. So yeah, and that's the end of our first lesson. I think there were a few hiccups along the way with the, I think, live streaming on YouTube. I think we'll just reevaluate as a team and see whether we should do our next lesson as a YouTube live stream, or we could use Google Meet and see if that fares better. But thank you everyone for participating in this session. Um, and yeah, it actually takes courage to put yourself out there to learn a new skill. So you should be very proud of yourself for joining us on this course. This is just the beginning. There's a whole lot more fun and interesting things that we're going to learn along the way. And as mentioned, we actually are going to build at least 2 websites together, which we're going to deploy online, which you can share with your friends, with your family to show them that, hey guys, I can now make websites. I can now develop websites. I can now deploy websites. So thank you everyone for your time, and we'll catch up in the next lesson. Enjoy your evenings.